Doug Pederson headed to Jacksonville.
A veteran coach, a Super Bowl winning coach.
He's the perfect coach for the Jaguars at this time.
I think the culture they're trying to bring here is really good. It's what we need.
Don't shut this down, okay? And stay locked in. That was a great day.
The players here want to win. I want to win.
I feel great about Coach Pederson. He's an offensive mind. He played quarterback. Just how much success he's had in the NFL, being head coach. He's won a Super Bowl.
We really do have a foundation of guys on this roster that are really good culture setters.
Lawrence pulled it down and throws to the end zone to Marvin Jones. Did he come down, feet in bounds? He did.
It's just exciting. I think everybody's ready to get going and ready to have a great year.
Seeing a new Jacksonville Jaguar team for 2022 and seeing where we can go from here.
A night with Trevor Lawrence and Doug Pederson. Shouldn't you guys have tuxes on or something? I mean, it sounds like a formal. Are you singing or dancing?
This will be a night to remember.
Look at this. I think 1,800 folks were invited tonight. There's at least 1,200 here.
That's a good
Great
group.
crowd.
Thank you guys for being out. This is great. Thank you.
I hate to throw this softball, but what does it mean if all these folks are in the stands for you this fall?
I'd like to have more than 1,200. I tell you what, if you have this kind of energy on game day, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Fill this stadium back here.
You've been at this now for about 5.5 months. You've had a chance to get out in the community and get a feel for the passion that this fan base has for this team. Does it remind you of another place you've been in your career?
Reminds me of a lot of places I've been, but the last place that I was in was very enthusiastic about their team, just like this place is. And that's what I love about being here in Jacksonville and being in the community and having a chance to kind of rub shoulders, you know, when we're out at dinner or just, you know, out at the mall or wherever we're at, and just seeing the excitement on the fans' face. You know, and I know things haven't been great, you know, here, and that's okay. But this is new. This is fresh. This is rejuvenated. This is, you know, and this is what's exciting. And I truly believe that the fans and the people that I've met are truly and genuinely excited about this season.
Trevor, you've been in Jacksonville now for a year. Through the draft process, I think all of us said that's our guy. Jacksonville's the perfect place for a kid from Georgia who played at Clemson. Has it turned out so far to be a place that you've fallen in love with?
Definitely. I mean, me and my wife love it here. It's a special place for all you guys that live here, not only to play at, but to live here, to spend time with all you guys, just like he said, out in the community at dinner. It's a really, really special place. You guys treat us well. You guys are respectful. And just a fan base that's so passionate. And like he said, obviously things haven't gone as well as we all hoped, but this year we're really excited to put together a special team. We already have that, and just to keep building that. And I think you guys are going to be really pleased with what we put on the field this year, so I'm really excited.
Hey, by a show of hands, how many of you guys go back to 1995? So one thing that we haven't done here is win a championship in Jacksonville, but both of you guys have won them. So, Doug, as you put together this program, what are the most important things you're looking to build that championship culture that sets it apart from the past?
You know, that's a great question, because I think there's several ways that you can win a championship, but I think the number one ingredient is to have high character players. Players that, you know, are on time to meetings. They're on time to practice. They're great in the community. They're great with the fans. You know, they're leaders amongst themselves. You know, the thing that I've challenged this team with is everybody can lead, not just one guy. He doesn't have to bear the burden of leadership. You know, it falls on me. It falls on the assistant coaches, and it falls on the entire football team. But high character guys that we bring here to Jacksonville because they love football, they have a passion for football, and they want to win. I mean, bottom line is they want to win. They're competitors, and the teams that I've either been a part of as a player and or coached, we always had high character players in the right position. Now listen, you got to have talent. No, don't get me wrong, you got to have talent, but you got to have high character guys in those positions, and that will kind of supersede anything that comes your way during the regular season.
Trevor, you came in with a championship pedigree and obviously a winning program at Clemson. What do you see now with a year under your belt that's important from your perspective to lift this thing higher? Besides all the things obviously Doug mentioned, high quality people and great players.
Yeah, I think he hit the nail on the head. Obviously, I haven't won a Super Bowl yet, and that's a little different than winning a national championship, but I was fortunate enough to be able to do that. And I think any team, the specialness of that team is all based on accountability, trust in one another, and that includes coaching staff, support staff, all the players, and I think that's the biggest thing. And I go back to Clemson and our national championship team, and there was just that sense of accountability and trust, but also that sense of if someone wasn't doing what they needed to do, we had enough accountability to be able to check one another in a respectful way, and really no stone was left unturned. And that's where I see where this place is headed when you have some of your players that are supposed to be your best players, who are your most accountable players, like he was saying, on time to meetings, work the hardest. That's what you have to build a great team, and that's what we're building right now.
Bucky Brooks from the NFL Network, who played here, was here last week. I'd like to get both of your thoughts on this. Doug, the thing that he said was when he looked at you and Mike McCoy and a lot of the guys on your staff, you had seen a championship team from the inside when you were all together in Green Bay, and Bucky was a part of that team. He said, you know what it looks like. How do you translate that, knowing what you want to see every day, into that championship caliber that you're looking for?
Obviously there's no crystal ball, right? I mean, what we do is a sport, and we love to play it, we love to coach it, and if I could sit here and rub a crystal ball and win a championship every year, we could. But really, having been on a championship team, I had a chance to be at 2 Super Bowls with the Green Bay Packers as a player, and obviously my time in Philly to win a championship there as a coach. But when you look into it and you go, okay, what makes up that team? What makes up that season? It's a lot about what we're talking about, but it's also kind of understanding your team and kind of having a relationship with your guys and knowing when to push them hard, knowing when to back off from them, and really kind of getting a pulse for your football team. And look, you got to have a little luck on your side too, right? The ball's got to bounce your way a little bit, and you got to create some things on the football field, but you just know, and there's a feeling that I had on all 3 of those teams that went to Super Bowls, that there's kind of that it factor amongst the guys, and it's just something you don't necessarily put your finger on. You just have a feeling, you have an emotion, and you know how to get the best out of those players.
Well, and the other thing that Bucky said, Trevor, was that the players would take the field understanding what the expectation was, what the coaches wanted to see. And that particular practice, I don't think I saw many balls hit the ground. Are you setting that standard amongst yourselves this early in the spring? I guess it's late in the spring.
Yeah, no, I think that starts now. Right when we hit the field, April 11th, I think is when we started. That was the standard that we started instilling into the team. And it was, like, obviously we talked a little bit about last year, and it wasn't a great year, but it's more about just players and what happens on the field. It's all about a mindset, and I think that's a big part of winning and having a great culture. And Coach Pederson's brought that mindset here, and just how he leads the team. Like you said, he really understands. He's been a player, so there's that mutual respect. That's he's been in our shoes, and we understand that. So I think for a lot of the guys that helps a lot. And then like you said, just setting that standard early, so when we hit camp, we already know what the expectation is, and we can hit the ground running.
So OTAs are done, right? And minicamp is next week. How'd they go? What'd you get done this spring? Because I know you've been quoted as saying that you thought it was a really successful offseason.
Yeah, it was successful in a lot of different areas. Number one, just the participation of the players. In the NFL, the offseason program is a voluntary program, and the guys don't have to be here, and I really can't do anything about it. But leadership like Trevor, to get the guys here, and some of his teammates to get the guys here on a consistent basis. We had close to 96, 97% of our players, and that's 91 players here going through the offseason program, is a huge success, because there are teams that only have 40 and 50 and 60% of their players in the offseason program, and that's the reality of our business right now. But the guys were here, the guys were attentive. The guys busted their tail. They did exactly everything that I asked of them and the coaches asked of them, and that's what it takes. That's the bottom line when you want to build a championship team. You have to build it out here in the off season. That's where you lay the foundation, you lay that first brick, and then you just stack in those days on top of each other. And this was a huge success from the standpoint of just having the guys here, understanding what we as coaches wanted from them, and then watching them go out and perform.
Is it an exaggeration to say you have an advantage living in Jacksonville? Guys are here. The weather's nice. They can work out. As opposed to Green Bay, where you probably only have 40 or 50 players through the course of the offseason. How much does Jacksonville and the climate play into the fact that players want to be part of your offseason program?
I think it's really huge. I think it's huge when you sign free agent players like we did this spring, to guys that can come to Florida, to Jacksonville. The weather for the most part is good, and we can be outside and just it's fun. It's fun to be outdoors. I lived in Green Bay for 8 years, and it's not fun, in March and April. It's a little chilly, I'll be honest with you. But when guys show up here in April ready to go, and we're 70, 80 degrees all the time, the sun is shining, that does something for the soul. I mean, it just does. And for all of us here that now live here, and many of us are probably transplants from around the country, it's a great place to live.
You get that feel from the new guys who come in?
Probably about 90 degrees, 95 degrees.
Not in April.
It feels that way now. I was going to say, do you get that sense talking to some of the guys who've signed on, some of the free agents and draft choices, that being in this environment?
Yeah, I mean, just like what we've been talking about. One, I mean, Jacksonville's a great place, but more so than that, I think the guys that Coach Pederson and Trent and Press, as a whole staff selected, especially the new offensive guys, I have a better relationship with them. They're just the right type of people. They want to be here. They're excited to help this team. They're excited to build something special. Obviously, I mean, maybe a little bit of that's weather, but I really think it's about the people that we brought in, and we're really excited.
All right, I didn't hear that. We got a couple questions coming from you guys here in a little bit. Let's go back right down to the talk about Jacksonville, because obviously this group is very passionate. One of the things that the Jaguars focus on is their relationship with the military. And you probably have seen it. I know you've been a part of it. Military members in here? Veterans? This place gets rocking on Veterans Day, for sure. You have the experience as the son of a veteran yourself. How does the military aspect of the Jaguars in Jacksonville play into the bold and the proud and the committed elements of what they're trying to get done here?
Well, there's a level of expectation, number one. I think anybody that's been raised in a military family understands that, and kind of held to a higher standard. And so really for us as coaches, and for me, it's a chance to really hold our players to a higher standard, and you can demand a little bit more, and that discipline and kind of that camaraderie, and I heard communication and some of the detail things that we do as a team. One of the things I'll never do is I'll never relate anything what we do to the military and what they do, because that's a special place. I mean, those men and women put their lives on the line every single day, and I appreciate that. I'll never relate that to, but there's a lot of principles I think that the military can teach us, not only as individuals but as a team, and the way I can shape my message to the football team, and we can learn from that. And there is that level of discipline and expectation that comes from being a part of a military family in a military city.
You had a World War II veteran talk to your team recently. There aren't many of those men and women left. Trevor, what was the message, and what did you take away from the gentleman who came to speak?
Sorry, what's that?
The World War II veteran.
Joy, talking about?
Yeah.
Joy Casino, yeah. I mean, just to see, I think she was 98. She came out of the field yesterday or 2 days ago, and really just to see the joy that she still had. She had more energy than some of the guys on the team. Like, she walked out there, just the joy she had, how appreciative she was of us, and for us to be able to reciprocate that and include her, gave her a helmet, all that, it was really special. And just to echo what he said, thank all y'all who have served, continue to serve. We really appreciate it, and that's another cool thing about Jacksonville is that tie to the military. That thank you guys.
Doug, speaking of military and of commitment, you have 4 pillars that you write about in your book. Create energy every day, eliminate distractions, fear nothing, attack everything. Let's talk a little bit about those and how you are implementing those things and why you're implementing those particular thoughts with your team.
Well, I think the number one thing, eliminating distractions. You know, these players are high-profile guys, and for them to be their best on Sunday, there's certain things that they have to eliminate. Even as coaches, we have to eliminate, and you really have to focus 100% on your job, right, to be successful. That's why we get hired, and that's why we draft players like Trevor, and we build football teams. And so there's certain things, and it's hard as it is, I try to get them to stay off social media. I try to get them to limit the number of appearances during the season. I try to, even to the point of families. Families can pull on us for tickets, for hotel rooms, for passes, for all kinds of stuff. And there's certain things that just come up in our life that if we can just simplify, take a deep breath and simplify, we can focus on our job. So eliminating distractions is number one. Creating energy goes without saying. Every time you walk into this building as a player, as a coach, as an employee of the Jacksonville Jaguars, you better create some energy. Create some energy within your group, within your organization. Don't be the one that's stealing all the energy. Be the one that's creating it and giving it out every single day. And I think fearing nothing, it's not about walking around in fear every single day or fearing our opponents. It's not like that. It's just being prepared. It's just having that confidence that when we step out on the football field, we've turned every stone over. Our players are prepared, and we can go out there and fear nothing. Anything that comes our way, we'll be able to, the fourth one, attack everything. And I think if you maintain those four pillars, you can apply those to life, everyday life, and you can apply it to what we do, on a daily basis here.
Here's a book plug. If you haven't read Coach's book, it's called Fearless. It's out there. It's on Audible if you want to listen to it. How many have picked it up yet? All right, there's a lot of potential customers. I have too. It's called Fearless.
For those of you that don't read, there are pictures in there. Yeah. So
lots of potential readers. It's a great summer read. But Coach, where did those come from? Where did they evolve? From your playing career, your coaching career, Green Bay, Kansas City? Where'd you come up with those four?
Those four, a lot of it is sort of life-driven. I did learn them, with my time as an assistant coach in the National Football League, and obviously as a player. And I think back to my days, down in South Florida with the Dolphins, or in Green Bay for 8 years, wherever I was, and just being around some of the mentors in my life, the Andy Reeds, the Mike Holmgrens, the Don Shulas, the coaches that I learned from, and that's where some of these principles that I apply to the team today come from, and that's where those four sort of have stemmed, from that sort of upbringing in the NFL.
You got a book in the works yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. We're talking about mentors and guys that Coach worked with that led him places. Besides the obvious, in Dabo Swinney, who are some of the places or who are some of the people that have most profoundly impacted you? Maybe not just in football, but in life in general.
I'd say for sure my family, my parents. Obviously, they raised me, and they owe a lot of credit to them just for the principles, the character, the work ethic that they instilled in me from a young age. So that's a lot to their credit. And whatever I needed, no matter what it was, my mom, my dad were there for me, and I think that's so valuable, obviously, as a kid. And then just the circle that I've kept for the past few years, my friends, my wife now, she's such a big part of my journey and our journey together, and helps me keep a solid head. Things get crazy, but she's my rock. So that's something that I've needed in my life. And then obviously, like I said, my friends. I try to keep a small circle, friends that care about me for me, not what I can do. And I've tried to keep that group the same throughout the last few years, and just really thankful for a good support system.
Has it been hard to stay who you are with all of the attention that you have drawn as a professional football player, and a successful one at that, or is it just effortless for you? It's who you are.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's definitely some challenges at times. I haven't found it as hard as I would have probably anticipated. Just, I think, like I said, having those people around you that really know you, that really care about you, that helps with that too. I'm not getting pulled in too many different directions by people I care about, because, they care about me as well. So that helps limit, like you said, distractions, all of those things. But yeah, there's obviously challenges, and just looking back last year, a lot of challenges, a lot of distractions, and just trying to always put my best foot forward and be my best self. And that's what I try to bring in the building every day. And I think we're at a place now where that's really rubbing off on guys that are here, and then we're bringing guys in that are the same way. So
we're going to dive into some questions in just a moment, but first, Jacksonville is a small city. I've seen the photos. You're out and about on the beach throwing the football, hanging out near in Atlantic Beach at the corners. I mean, how is it in a city where you can't really hide? Have you enjoyed that aspect of it? And how do you interact with folks when you see them out in public?
It's great, man. I'm so grateful for you guys as fans. I mean, I was thinking about the other day. I get paid to be here to play this game that I love, and you guys spend your hard-earned money to come watch us play and to come support us. And I'm thankful for you guys. So anytime I see y'all in public, and that's the least I can do is interact, have a conversation, take a picture, whatever it is. I'm just thankful for y'all. You guys keep this thing going, and just really excited to turn this thing around and give you guys y'all's reward too.
And Doug, I saw you at the J Fund a couple of weeks ago. I mean, I know you've been out at a number of charitable events. How's it been for you assimilating? You were engaged in Philly, which is a huge market, then out of football a year. Now you're back in it, in a Green Bay-esque kind of market here, where people can see you and touch you and talk to you. How's it been for you?
It's been spectacular. It's been awesome. It really has. And I think one of the things that, especially when you're the head coach of any team, that you really are engaged in the community. We have to plug in. I say we, my wife and I, and even our 3 sons. We need to engage and plug ourselves into this community, right? Which we did at my former place. And you plug in, and you get to know the fans. You get to know the people, because I really don't want to show up on game day out here and have more Tennessee Titan fans than Jacksonville Jaguar fans. I don't want to show up. And so it does help. It does help to engage the fan. It does help to be out in the community. And it's our job. It's our job with the guys in the locker room to put the best product on the football field, because that's what you want, and we understand that. That's what you want. As Trevor said, that's why you pay the money to come watch us, coach and play. You watch them. You don't watch me. But that's kind of the cool part. That's kind of the cool part about what we do, is being able to engage with the fans out at dinner, maybe out on the beach, wherever, on a golf course somewhere, doing something we love to do away from football, and that's what's exciting to me.
Jacksonville is only entering its 28th NFL season. It doesn't have that deep history like a lot of other franchises do. But I think everybody in this room is probably proud of Tony Boselli, right? Doug, you played with Hall of Famers. What does it mean for this franchise to finally have its first gold jacket? And you played in Tony Boselli's era, and your thoughts on him?
Well, first of all, the organization's heading in the right direction. I truly believe that. I believe ownership is pushing this direction, or this organization, in the right direction. We're building a team and a franchise that obviously you, the fan, can be proud of. And to have somebody like Tony, first draft pick, to be into the Hall of Fame, I think, again, it just shows that the organization itself is taking steps in the right direction. He is a Hall of Fame caliber tackle. I mean, he played in an era where he was going up against some of the best defensive ends in football, and he was shutting them down. And we're just so excited for him as a Jaguar, obviously, to be presented for enshrinement later this summer.
Trevor, I don't even know if you think in this direction, but you're a young quarterback with a chance with a young franchise to really put your stamp on it. Is that appealing to you, to have this franchise as, an open book that you can go write a brand new story with?
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily see it that way. I think more so just, wherever I'm at, wherever my feet are. This is something I learned from Coach Sweeney at Clemson, was just wherever my feet are, be the best I can be. And I'm here, and I happen to love it here, and all you guys are awesome, and I love Jacksonville. So I'm going to be my best here. No matter where that is, though, I'll do the same, but it just happens to be in a great city. So I think that's what drives me, is to try to maximize my potential every day it's a short window. You know, everyone always tells me that. Now I'm on year 2. I see how fast year 1 went, and I want to maximize it because we have a window right here to turn this place around and build something special, and just trying to do everything in my power to make it that.
All right, as we transition to a couple of fan questions, hopefully you'll plant your feet with us here this fall and watch what these guys are building. There are sales reps all around. Your sales rep, they'll be looking for you to help you get into the stadium this fall. I have a microphone. Do you want to help me? Come here, help me. Do you have a question? Oh, well, there you go. You're first.
Kind of hard following you. You do an awesome job.
Thank you.
Trevor, how has your leadership style changed from leading Clemson, and we'll skip past last year, in terms of like where you are today? So how have you seen your leadership style change or evolve?
Yeah, I mean, I think it evolves. Like the older you get, the more you learn. And just kind of going back to last year as far as my leadership, you know, coming in as a rookie, you have a lot to learn, and you just kind of fall in line and like I said, try to be the hardest worker, lead by example, do all those things, and then it hits a point where, okay, I'm the guy now. This is my team. I have to lead the team. Same thing. I think leading by example is number one. If you don't do the things that you say, no one's going to respect you. So that's where it starts. And then I think just being able to pull people with you. We always talk about a leader is able to bring out the best in people around them, and that's something that I try to think about every day, try to bring out the best in others in my own way. You know, I'm not a big rah-rah, get in anybody's face, but just trying to be that example every day and bring people with me.
Hi, thank you for coming here, Coach. You're an honorable man. And I know it means a lot to everybody. And I'm from New Jersey. Thank you. Don't cut your hair.
I'm getting a haircut tomorrow.
And is everybody going to be here in January for the Titans game?
I know we had some folks who came up first. If you were one of those folks that has the question, was it you? Come on here.
Hello, Coach. Hello, Trevor. Hey, welcome to Jacksonville. We love you guys. I have high expectations for you guys. I'm predicting you all go to the playoffs. Do you feel the same way, and do your teammates feel the same way?
Well, thank you for that. You know, and it's one thing. You know, I've never been the guy either to start making a lot of promises. Right? We still have a lot of ball in front of us, but I really like the direction this team is headed. I like the makeup and the chemistry, the leadership of this football team, and I think the sky is the limit with this team, with these players. And again, like we were talking about, we have players in the right position. We have talented players in the right position, and we got high character guys. And when you have that chemistry and you put things together, you can do really good things. And so, you know, that means obviously winning the AFC South. That's the number one goal. We got to win the AFC South, right? I mean, let's just start right there. You know, second thing is we have to win our home games, and that's a help from you. You know, you got to win your home games. And I know we don't have a lot of home games, but the ones we do have, we expect y'all to be out there rocking this place. And then I think the third thing is when you're on the road, you know, you're going to have some of those 50-50 games, right? Those games where it could go either way. You have to dig down deep and find a way to win those football games, right? And when you do that, now you're somewhere up around 9, 10, 11 win seasons. That's kind of been the history of teams that do it, consistently every year. So I'm not putting a record on it, but I'm saying the team is in a good position to be successful this year.
Got it. He's got it.
Thank you.
Tillis Devon, season ticket holder. My wife, Dr. Shay Devon, with me. I have a question for you, Coach. How much of an impact you think having Travis Etienne back after the injury will have on this year's offense, given that Trevor and Travis played together in Clemson, and we now have that TNT connection.
Well, we as a coaching staff, we've been excited to have Travis out on the practice field, you know, coming off an injury and the way he rehabbed and really tackled that, having him out there all spring. He looks really good. He looks healthy. He's going to be in a great position going into training camp. It'll be good to really get these two connected once again like they were at Clemson. You know, and the other person we have to get back in that mix is James Robinson. We got to get him back out there. Because you kind of pair him and Travis together, you know, with Trevor and some of the other pieces we have. I really like our backfield and how we can use both of those guys, you know, at the same time.
How about your perspective, Trevor, on not having Travis last year and what you see from him out on the field? Does he look like the explosive player that you know so well?
Definitely. Like you said, he looks healthy, super explosive. I think he's going to add that element to our offense. And then, just like he said, him and James together are going to be a great pair, combo, roll in and out. And I'm really excited to have both of them back. And, yeah, last year was, you know, me and Travis came here. It was tough seeing him get hurt in the preseason, not be able to be around, you know, help us at all last year. I know he missed it, so we're all excited he's back.
And for folks who haven't had a chance to meet Travis, he is one of those high-character guys the coach is talking about, right? I mean, just always seems to have a smile on his face, bubbly and energetic even when he was rehabbing last year. That's really important to have that kind of energy.
It's great to have that energy, and that's what he brings every day to the running back room and to the offense and to the team. He is walking around with a smile every single day. He's a sponge. He wants to learn. He wants to get better, and that's what we're excited about.
The gentleman right back here.
Yes, I'm Dave. I'm here with my wife, Portia. We are legacy season ticket holders, and I know there's a lot of us here tonight. You mentioned the place being full for home games. As someone who's been here when the team was winning, I can tell you that you have no idea how this place can be when the team wins. And we're looking forward to you guys we're looking forward to you guys making this a fun place for Jaguars fans for a lot of years to come. So thank you for being here. My question is this. What are you most excited about for this season and this team?
Is that for me?
It's for both of you.
Yeah, I'm just excited. Obviously, just the work we've put in up to this point, the team that we've assembled, guys that were already here, new guys that we brought in. Really to see how hard we've worked and the amount of work we put in and that we're going to continue to put in once training camp comes, just to be able to reap the benefits of all that work, and just excited to get off on the right foot this year and really turn this place around.
I think what I'm most excited about, you know, I had a chance to sit out of football for a year and think about my next opportunity. And when this opportunity presented itself, it was the team and really the only team that I wanted to coach. And it was because of and it was because of players like this. And so for me, that's the exciting part, right? Getting back into football, just like we talked about, bringing that energy every day, being around these guys, the youthfulness, but also the experience of the team is exciting for me. And that's what I'm most excited about, just watching these guys play together on game day, on Sunday afternoons, and just cutting them loose and letting their talent and their personalities show. So for me, that's what I'm most excited about.
You built a staff of guys that you know and you trust. Do they see the same things that you do? I mean, do they have the same energy level that you do about this team and this opportunity this year?
They better.
Yeah. Good answer.
But no, they do. They see the exact same things, and you know, the staff work together a lot, and we have a lot of meetings in the afternoons when the players are gone and stuff, and just listening to them talk, they're excited as well. They're genuinely excited as well to be able to really kind of shape and mold, you know, this football. There's a newness around the team. There's a newness around the organization, which is exciting in itself. And again, it's up to us to make sure that we carry it in the right direction.
And Trevor, they built a brain trust around you with Mike McCoy and Press Taylor and Jim Bob Cooter. I'm missing somebody. You. This guy right here.
Hey, they're a lot smarter than me.
You've got a lot of minds that are working with you to build this offense. What's it like to have such a wide, deep reservoir of experience and intellect to call on?
It's great. Obviously having coaches that have coached together before, have that relationship, that communicate well, everyone's on the same page is big, but then having coaches like Coach McCoy, who's coached great players like Peyton Manning, Phillip Rivers, guys like that. So he has that experience of coaching them, seeing what they did on a daily basis, how they approach the game, the way they played the game, their intellect, all of that, and being able to pull from that. And, he shares a lot of those stories with us, and it helps a lot. And then obviously, Coach Pederson and Press and all those guys that are in the room really are all on the same page. It's a lot of voices, but everyone's saying the same thing. So it's nice to be able to go to any of them, and we're all speaking the same language.
Got a couple more questions. In the back. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name's Babs. And the first thing I want to say is I'm super excited about this season. And most of it's because of you two guys right there. So we're behind you. My question is for Trevor. Trevor, if your wife was watching this, what would you like to say to her?
Sorry, I can't hear you. What'd you say?
If your wife was watching this, what would you like to say to her?
I love you. I'll be home in like an hour.
Perfect.
We said he was a smart guy. We got one more.
Hey, Coach, welcome to Jacksonville. Thank you very much for coming. It's nice to have somebody that actually won a Super Bowl coaching us. My name is Brian Porter. I sit front row end zone in the 1-2-1 section. You'll probably know me doing a little bit of this. Been there since day one. My dad started all the way up. My grandma no longer with us, but she lives right here. Do want to ask if you have any special pregame game day rituals that you do before you go out there.
Is this for you?
Thank you.
I'll answer that. Yeah, you will.
No, the ice cream is the night before. I don't do that on a game day. I guess the only ritual that I like is I love to get to the stadium early, and I love to kind of walk out, onto the field and just kind of as the workers are kind of setting up and the TV crews, are kind of setting up, getting ready for game day and everything, just kind of watching the stadium come alive. And then I guess the next wave is when the gates open and see the fans and the excitement on the fans, as they enter the field because they want to see their favorite player start to warm up. So to me, getting here early, watching the stadium sort of come to life is one of the things I like to do each week. Trevor, you got one? Anything on game day that stands out to you?
Nothing too specific besides since I was in college, I call my mom every morning before the game. So that's the one thing.
We said he was a smart guy, right? In this one broadcast, he's covered wife and mother. Really smart. Yeah. Who else do you need to talk to? Yeah, smart guy. Really smart guy. All right. We're about at the end here. Any last words you'd like to share besides the obvious, and that is it's going to be fun this fall. We want you with us.
It is. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun to watch these guys play. And again, we've talked a lot about that tonight, but we need you. We need the fans, right? We need you out here rooting and cheering and screaming your heads off for these guys. They feed off of you in the stands, and not even just here in Jacksonville, but being able to carry it on the road. When we go to some tough places, we got a couple of dome games this year, and we'd love to have a sea of Jaguar teal in those stadiums and just rocking those stadiums. So let's make that a deal right here that we're gonna show up.
It surprises people how many teal shirts show up in road games.
I know.
Right? It surprises them all the time, whether it's Los Angeles or Seattle.
I know the London trip, a couple years ago, I was on that other team, and you guys had more fans there than we did. And that's exciting. That's exciting, to see that and to be able to do that on the road, in a hostile environment.
Any last thoughts, Trevor?
Yeah, thank all of y'all for coming. Means a lot. Seriously, thank y'all for taking your time to come out tonight. And I'll just say you guys are going to be proud of what we put on the field this fall. You know, like you said, not going to make any promises about wins or anything like that, but you guys are going to be proud of the team you see. And just thank you guys for everything.
What is your name? Will, you did the Duval before the coach and the quarterback came up. Do you want to close us out with the Duval? All right, you all ready? Duval! All right, folks. Thanks for joining us this evening. Hope you enjoyed it.